All righty, town meeting time. Hello, good morning, and welcome. This is Monday the 17th. I'm J.R. Lewis, and the Town Meeting Talk Show on KLAM is brought to you by Cordova Wireless Communications, which is your local cell phone and wireless data provider that provides your local talk show. Great company to have as a partner in doing this, and today's program is for those in the Coast Guard or interested in what the Coast Guard has to offer. Because not long ago, I was flipping through the voluminous or whatever it is email that we receive every day, and a news release from the Coast Guard caught my attention here, which says the Coast Guard launched an innovative and modernized approach to mentorship to offer expanded leadership opportunities to the Coast Guard active duty, reserve, and civilian workforce. The program goes beyond traditional mentoring and provides 4 types of mentoring tracks or connections, tailored specifically to individual needs and scheduling preferences. Additionally, the program participants will have the opportunity to network with people who work in a wide variety of fields across the organization, and the program is powered by software that can automatically match thousands of mentors and mentees based on professional interests and backgrounds. Now, the news release went on to describe more about the program, but I thought, rather than just read that to you, let's see if we can find somebody to visit with. And as it turns out, we were able to get some time with U.S. Coast Guard Commander Julie Kuck, who is with, it says the unit is U.S. Coast Guard Chief of Office Leadership. She and I had a visit, which we're going to bring to you now, about this mentoring program. So we hope you enjoy it. That's the subject of today's town meeting, May 17th on KLAM. So, Commander Kuck, why don't we start by getting to know you? What is your role with the Coast Guard, and what is your background with the CG?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for talking with me. I'm Commander Julie Kuck. I am Chief for the Office of Leadership. I'm currently stationed at Coast Guard headquarters, and the mentoring program is part of our leadership program.
Good. And have you ever had occasion to travel to Alaska, which is a very Coast Guard kind of state?
I've only been to Alaska for vacation. I have never been stationed there.
Well, that's as good a reason as any. This is a tough situation right now to be able to get up here to do that, of course, but we're hoping that's going to get fixed. So as I was telling you before we got started, I just happened across this news release about this mentoring program and thought, obviously the Coast Guard is very important to Cordova. It's very critical to so many aspects of what we do, and not just what happens out on the water, obviously, but just as members of the community. So, anytime we have an opportunity to share more information, not just for our folks in the Coast Guard, but for the community to know sort of what's available. Let's start, if you could tell us about this new mentoring program that you have just launched.
Sure, I would love to. We're really hoping this program will evolve how we mentor in the Coast Guard and improve how our personnel connect and grow in their careers. As you know, we have amazing people in our service, and this will really ensure we continue to both recruit and retain our outstanding and inclusive workforce, supporting both our current missions and protecting the American people and our great nation. The mentoring program is open to our active duty, our reserve component, and our civilian workforce. It's really a total workforce program. It uses web-based and mobile-enabled software to connect Coast Guard personnel across the Coast Guard service and across the world. When I talk about web-based and mobile-enabled, what that means is our Coasties can access that from any computer, whether that's either on our network or from their personal computer or any smart device or tablet. So they can really engage in that in really any electronic means, which is really fantastic. we're really excited about that. It gives them a lot of flexibility and ways to engage in mentoring, and really gives them expanded opportunities to expand in their personal and professional growth as they go throughout their careers.
Well, and I mean, we've seen so much of that, of course, over the last year. Certainly, the value that mobile connectivity can help and some of the opportunities that it opens up. What kind of responses or feedback have you gotten from the workforce?
Sure. It's been just a little less than a month since we rolled out the program, but so far we've had very positive responses. People are surprised how user-friendly the software is. They've stated it's pretty easy to sign up. It just takes just a few minutes, and it looks very professional, not like your typical government software, which we love. Heard from a Coast Guard employee in one of our tracks, which I'll talk more about in a little bit, and within the Flash mentoring track, and she just asked yesterday for some advice. And so it's pretty neat. Someone reached out directly to me, which is obviously near and dear to my heart, with being the person that helped roll out this program. And I was able to immediately respond back to her through the software application to provide some advice, and then even help her connect to a mentor that had even more information to help her out in her career. So that was pretty fulfilling to be able to do that and to see that reach someone in our workforce.
Yeah, well, it's got to be rewarding to, you come up with an idea or participate in implementing it and to see it touching people already, relatively short period of time since the rollout. So I take it that mentoring is not something new to the Coast Guard. So how is this program different from the way that it's been done in the past?
Sure, that's a great question. Well, we know this isn't the only way people mentor. Mentoring's been done for many, many years, and it continues in different capacities within the Coast Guard. This will complement and augment, traditional ways people mentor in the Coast Guard. In person, in natural ways, people do that. It's part of our leadership program. People do that naturally in their development, but this also gives additional ways to meet people's distinct needs for mentoring and connect them in a more global way. This has automated software that can connect thousands of people automatically. So giving real-time mentor-mentee connections with no delay. It has 4 different flexible mentoring tracks that really automates this and can have people reach across geographic boundaries in a really unique way that we're pretty excited about. There's really something for everyone in this program. Yeah.
Well, and we've seen, obviously, there are a lot of ways in a variety of fields where being able to communicate with a much broader pool of knowledge and talent, you hope certainly makes everybody better. So have you been able to get a sense of how effective that this program how effective it is compared to more traditional programs at this point?
Sure. We have some of the aspects of a traditional program. So when you think of a traditional program, you think of your one-to-one kind of your match program. And we have that aspect in there because some people truly do value that traditional mentoring program. But in addition, we have additional tracks. We have what we call a communities marketplace, which kind of creates that sense of connection and community where people of like a like background can kind of connect together. And then we also have different ones that have ways people can reach out for different situational things. But we have that flexibility built in there as well. For example, we have that flexibility where people can connect. We had during our beta test, we had people in a remote setting. We had a cutter deployed in the middle of the ocean, connecting with someone halfway across the world through this mentoring software in a way that couldn't have possibly been done in a traditional mentoring environment.
So what was the idea, the genesis, I guess, of the program? Why start it, and what would you say the primary goal is?
Oh, we know it's important to our people. So the Coast Guard really wants to invest in our workforce. Being an employer of choice is one of our top strategic goals. We have, a global competitive environment. We want to retain our, mission-ready total workforce. We want to be inclusive. So keeping that competitive edge is important. Making sure our workforce develops and is really at the top of their game for their careers and enhances their professional development. That's all very important. We also know through a lot of our data we do a lot of surveys. As you know, probably from your local coasties, we do a lot of surveys. So one of our latest surveys, the Organizational Assessment Survey we did a couple of years ago, over 2/3 of our population said they wanted more access to mentoring. So that was one of the big driving factors behind this. Also, our 2019 Women's Retention Survey, one of the big results from that talked about how our women and underrepresented minorities wanted more access to mentors. So those were two data points that, significant data points that we took very seriously as a service. So we built that, and then we took on to add more programs to build on our recruitment and retention efforts.
All right, and is it too early in the process to know if some of the transformative goals that you have with this program, if that's going to work, if it's going to create that additional inclusivity that you want?
I think we're already seeing some positive responses that people feel more valued. We work closely with the Diversity Inclusion Office. They're literally right next door to me at headquarters. A lot of our programs we work hand in glove with them. Leadership and diversity inclusion. Being an inclusive leader is very important to some of the work we're doing. It starts with it all comes down to connecting, being an inclusive leader. Working through creating those connections, developing, interests, careers, connecting common backgrounds, so we can mentor and grow our leaders together. That's really important. One thing that's amazing about the Coast Guard is that we really empower and we rely on our leaders, starting at pretty junior levels. I'm sure as you've seen some of your amazing coasties there in Cordova. This program really helps us create a Coast Guard we can connect and create that sense of belonging, really starting from, kind of that deck plate, those junior levels, all the way on up, where people can really be part of the team and be at their best selves and really advance in their own development and feeling like they're connected and they're part of that workforce, part of that greater Coast Guard team, starting right at the beginning when they start in the service and continuing all the way through their career. So having that positive culture through mentoring and connection really creates that sense of belonging and inclusivity. And it's really a critical part of how we connect and evolve our leaders.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for those tuning in midway here, we're speaking with U.S. Coast Guard Commander Julie Kuck with the Coast Guard's Chief Office of Leadership and talking about this new mentoring program, which, as I understand from my notes here, has over 400 people, maybe more than that by this point, signed up so far, which I hope is in line with expectations, if not better, perhaps. So, but given that people are signing up for it, are there some other successes you've had so far that make you optimistic?
Sure. So we've seen people connect from all across the globe. We're in the high 400s now, so it's we're able to kind of watch the numbers tick up almost by the hour. So we're very excited about that. When we did our pilot program, we had people connected from all over the globe, having people connected from all different continents, deployed all the way across, having those cutters connecting from underway at sea, and people shore-based at all different operational units. That was pretty neat to see that level of engagement. We've got people all the way down from hangar decks, deck plate level, all different levels of the workforce, all the way up to our executive level, have been involved and engaged, not only in our pilot program, but in the actual rollout here. So that's very exciting. Within the first week of the program, we had, I think, just a great surprising success that we had a Coast Guard member in Guam just organically reach out to a senior civilian employee to ask for career and resume advice even before we had formally launched the program, which is just fantastic. And then just already had that value and that mentoring connection that we were kind of pleasantly surprised about. So it was really wonderful to see these connections happening just organically through the software.
Good. Well, we've been talking about the program kind of broadly, and you mentioned earlier that there are actually different tracks, 4 different types of tracks or mentoring connections. So let's get into the weeds a little bit on that now. What are those?
Sure. So one thing I love about this is it's a completely modern approach. It offers a lot of flexibility. it's really something for everyone. That traditional mentoring, that one-to-one kind of formal mentoring, that works for a lot of people, but it really doesn't resonate with everyone. And we know, we've got different generations within our workforce, and we're not like one size fits all with our workforce. So we want to kind of be agile and kind of be at the Swiss Army knife to have different flexible options for different people. So, we have a one-to-one mentoring track, which is your formal kind of traditional mentoring track where you have a mentor and a mentee. They can connect. They have this a little bit of a formal mentoring relationship where they're paired. They have a little bit of a structured approach. The software kind of helps guide through, here's kind of like a regular meeting cadence. They can meet through the, suggested meeting times and how often they should meet to kind of give them a little bit of a template of things to work with, which I think is helpful. There's the community marketplace, which is we have different circles of up to 100 people. We did a pretty robust approach with this. We have 141 communities built out for the Coast Guard. And we went pretty broad with this. We have every rating in the Coast Guard has a circle. So we have each one represented that because we wanted to make sure we really hit on our total workforce. Each different career specialty and each different career track has a circle. We also have our different affinity groups. So we really wanted every Coast Guard member and employee to be able to see themselves in one of our Coast Guard circles. So, when people enroll in this track, they can kind of find some type of Coast Guard community they can connect with someone else with. So we're pretty excited about this. Yeah. The Fresh Perspectives track gives us, it's essentially reverse mentoring, gives emerging leaders the ability to kind of share insights with senior leadership. This is a pretty innovative track. It's really kind of cutting edge for mentoring. We're pretty proud of this one. And lastly, Flash Mentoring. This one's pretty powerful for I think how we are as service members and as employees for a service. We rotate a lot. We change jobs a lot. We face different situations, and we might just want a little bit of mentorship in the current situation. We don't want this long-standing agreement. We just might want that answer right now in a current situation. So you can kind of just engage at certain times. So I think that's going to be very timely for our people.
Okay. You'll have to forgive me for being a bit selfish here because I'm always, particularly when we're talking with a guest at a national level, I always kind of know what's in it for Alaskans. So what is this? How do you see this being of particular interest to somebody that's up here?
Sure. That's a fair question. I think Coasties in Alaska are a great example of exactly who this program will really speak to. We have a lot of small units in the Coast Guard. I think that's exactly who this program will help out and connect. We have many units, over 800 different units in the Coast Guard, and being able to connect others and for people to reach out and to grow in their careers and to connect with people like them is exactly what this is capable of doing. This program is if you have a junior personnel or someone willing to reach out to find someone else that's either in a career track like them or wants to explore a different opportunity or just seeking out advice or mentorship, they can find someone somewhere else in the Coast Guard that may be nowhere near Alaska pretty easily through this software. I think that's a really fantastic opportunity. It removes all those geographic barriers that might be more difficult for someone to advance in their career. So it really gives them that flexibility.
Yeah, well, again, it sounds in many ways like an implementation of what we've seen with digital communication and advances in broadening our thinking about how we interact, which has been in its infancy ever since the internet began, and now has grown, again in this last pandemic year to an absolute necessity. Now, so I got to be personal about Alaska. Let's flip it and make it personal about you. Did you have a mentor who impacted your career? And maybe as a follow-up to that, how would this program how do you envision it might have helped you?
Sure. So I've had several great mentors throughout my career. And I'd say I'm probably a little bit more prone to pursue the situational or flash mentoring type of approach. And they've definitely helped me at certain critical points in my journey where I didn't know which path I should take. So mentoring has definitely been helpful towards my journey. But this program would have definitely helped me when I was, coming up through the ranks through my career. I'm an aviator by background, a helicopter pilot. And there was a time when I was a lieutenant and I was at an air station. I was the only female pilot there and looking at starting a family. So it would have been helpful to have a program like this to connect, with other aviators, looking at having families to have those connection points. That would have been very helpful to me to answer some of those tough questions. It was hard to get those answers at that time. So I could have definitely benefited from a program like this.
Well, yeah, and having a system in place that's able to take into account these many different life situations that people can be in, and what you described, was a perfect example, a pretty, a particular set of circumstances, and to be able to find a match, to already have somebody, to have people in the system that could be a good match for you to communicate with. I mean, that really seems to highlight what about this program is what's different about this program, which we kind of talked about before, but in case we missed anything, would you consider that one of the key differences about this program compared to other mentoring programs?
I think it gives a lot of flexibility. It doesn't require you to conform to the program. It kind of lets you tailor it to fit your needs.
Yeah, well, and the inclusivity part, which is obviously it's a topic that is pretty much everywhere now, it seems like, and which I guess begs the question: are there some outside of this? Are there some other initiatives the Coast Guard is pursuing right now, leadership development especially, in the vein of creating the more inclusive environment? Again, because that's real important to folks.
Sure, we're doing a lot of great work to make some big advances in our culture for a more inclusive leadership. Where we just released an update to our leadership competencies last week. We updated 4 of our leadership competencies for inclusive leadership, and we're working on some longer term changes. And then this mentoring program is definitely part of our larger diversity inclusion efforts to kind of connect and create more inclusion and belonging within the service. It's definitely critical to that larger service-wide cultural change we're working on.
Good. So what does I mean? It seems somewhat self-evident, but just to be sure that we get your full perspective on it, what does having a program like this mean for someone's career in the Coast Guard?
It gives you options to connect and to seek out to people to connect either with your careers or with potential careers, depending on where you're at and where you want to go in the Coast Guard. It gives you that option to find those career paths, to find those communities, and to find those connections to really to find your base and to ask those questions of the people that have been there, that have been through that, and to kind of help you navigate that course. As Coasties, I think we like to help people and we like to help others. It's in our nature. It's why we joined and who we are. I think that we can help kind of bring each other up and help each other advance in our careers.
Yeah, well, I mean, who best knows, as is the case in many types of mentoring programs or other support programs, you very often the people that can provide some of the best advice are the people that have lived through that specific set of circumstances, again, kind of like we talked about before. I would assume that the Coast Guard has been fairly supportive of this program, given that it's been launched. Do you get that sense as well that system-wide it's supported, and why would that be?
This has been absolutely a top priority of the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard, it has been this has been a top priority. It's been investing in our people, and it's been important to invest and develop in that. And we know improving the personal readiness and resilience, both for our people and developing and improving their leadership development has been critical, especially with everything going on right now, and then continuing the development. That's just been just a critical thing to go on right now. But not only for current events, but to continue on, to continue to support our missions to protect, the American people and our nation.
Yeah. Well, and again, we know that very well, how important the work that is done by the Coast Guard. We see that on a regular basis. So here's the important thing now for our grand finale question as we wrap up. If someone is interested in enrolling in this mentoring program, how do they go about doing that?
Sure, that's the easiest one. Go to coastguard.cronus.com. And
could you that middle part sort of slip by me now? Coastguard.
Yep.
What?
Cronus. So it's https //coastguard.chronus.com.
Okay. And if you just go to that website, then that'll have pretty much everything everybody needs to know about it?
That's correct. And then the other key thing to note is people need to sign up with their USCG.mil email address.
Oh, okay. So that'll be important to do it through that. Yeah, obviously to make
That's
sure
correct.
that it's the right people that are enrolling. Well, congratulations to you. I mean, it sounds, if I remember correctly, that you had a hand, Commander Kuck, in putting this together. I'm glad you've been able to see some positive results from that. And again, if all the information people need is on that website. One other thing, through email or communication from superiors or anything, do a lot of Coast Guard members probably know this program is available, or might it come as a surprise to some, say, who happen to be listening to this program?
We're working very hard on our communications. Hopefully it's not a surprise, but we can always, you can't over-communicate. I think that's something we're working very hard on. But hopefully we can continue to get the word out, and we appreciate you helping us amplify this program. Well,
like I said, when I saw it come by, it was I was curious for the benefit of our valuable members of the community who are in the Coast Guard, and I'm glad that you were able to make some time and sit down with us a bit. Anything else, Commander, before we wrap it up?
No, thank you so much for your time and for helping us get the word out.
Very much thanks again to U.S. Coast Guard Commander Julie Kuck from the Coast Guard Office of Leadership. She was our guest today on the town meeting program, which we hope was of value, again, to anybody in the Coast Guard or thinking about joining that's interested in the various things that they offer. And if you'd like to learn more about this program, then again, it's the Coast Guard Mentoring Program through the Office of Leadership that can be accessed through the website that the commander mentioned there. Town Meeting on KLAM is brought to you by Cordova Wireless Communications. Not only valuable for the products and services they provide, but the community investment, those outside federal dollars, about $12 million of them a year that come into Cordova so we can use them, and we don't have to make anything in order to do it. Just be members of our local phone operations there at CTC and Cordova Wireless. Town Meeting, again, is provided on demand, pretty much. We don't just sit here and do this every day for no reason, but when there's something to talk about, we're happy to do it. And if you ever have any ideas for programs, please let us know. We continue to find things on our own as we can, but hearing from you and knowing there's something that you would like to have discussed, for example, if you're in the Coast Guard or if you're in the science community or fishing community, of course, and would like to be a guest or recommend one, we're always happy to hear from you. You can call or email or whatever works for you. We'll bring you the rest of your 10 a.m. hour programming and features, delayed slightly here, after once more offering our thanks to you for joining us on Town Meeting here on KLAM. Have a great day.